This is JJ of Fight, and you're watching Metal Stream Radio.
You're listening to the Metal Match Show on Metal Stream Radio.
Hey guys, Metal Matt here, and boy have we got a show for you today. We've got some special guests today, which I think you're gonna know, so stay tuned because it's really cool, and we got some great music too, and lots of rock and roll stories, so yeah, stay tuned guys, because you're gonna love this one. First up, I want to talk a little bit about a band from the 90s. They didn't go on for a very, very long time. A short but very sweet time. It was a fantastic period of the singer Rob Halford of Judas Priest. You may remember he left Judas Priest back in the 90s after the Painkiller album for I was going to say a short period, but I think he was gone a good 10 or 20 years doing various projects. But one of the key projects which I think stand out for everyone, and myself particularly, I love this band, was Fight. And Fight, Rob was kind of taking the music in a slightly different direction. I think he brought some of the energy from Painkiller, and kind of made it his own, because it was his own thing. He was kind of showcasing what he's all about, but the extremity of Painkiller, definitely followed on in the Fight releases. Particularly we're talking about the War of Words album, which is just a sensational album. Fantastic band behind Rob, much younger guys than Rob at the time. He had a youth on his side with all the band members, because they were kind of ready and raring to go, into the world of heavy metal, and they were lucky to have Rob, as the front man, to help him with this project, to kind of bring his ideas to life, and they certainly did. You had the amazing Russ Parrish, fantastic guitar player. He's sensational. The way he plays that thing, it's another league. There's not many people who can play like that, and he's truly got talent. Even back then in the early days, he was tearing it up. Amazing playing. His solos, you can hear them on Immortal Sin. There's a great one on that, and so many Fight songs I just love, where he's shredding away. And For All Eternity, lots of emotion in his playing on that. He really added to the music, which was one of the key things Rob needed. He needed a band which understood the assignment, to make a really cool band, and bring it back to, what heavy metal and rock and being in a band is all about. It wasn't about the fancy clothes anymore. It wasn't about any of that kind of stuff. It was just about, let's get out on the stage in front of the people, play some smaller venues, and just, get in the faces of people. And that's what they did. And, for a short period, they sure made some amazing music, which still stands the test of time today, with songs like Into the Pit, and as I was talking about the various band members there, it wasn't just Russ, it was JJ Brown, amazing backing growl vocals, while Rob was kind of doing his Into the Pit. JJ was going Into the Pit with his very deathly growls, and he did that on many songs, kind of backed up Rob's vocals and brought a bit of extra power behind them, and a bit of aggression, and kind of that 90s metal edge, where a lot of the bands at that time were bringing a bit more aggression into the music. JJ kind of helped, consolidate that sound, that very 90s sound, but also very unique. There wasn't any other bands like it, but it had some of the elements of bands like Panther and things like that. So a great band. You had Brian Tilse as well. He was a fantastic player. Him and Russ were just working between each other, not unlike the guitar duo of Judas Priest, Glenn and KK. They had a great chemistry together, working off each other and kind of doing dual solos and things, fantastic. And then, you had Scott, and we all know Scott, which Scott I'm talking about, Scott Travis, from Judas Priest, who still plays with them to this day. It was a time when heavy metal was kind of shifting, I think, from that 70s, 80s sound where it was a bit more clean sounding. It suddenly went very, the treble went up on the amplifiers, the gain went right up, and we were suddenly in this heavier territory. Going back to Fight, Scott brought that energy, that power, which definitely added a lot to Fight. And talking of Fight, you know, I've got a couple of very special guests today for you here on Metal Stream Radio. We've actually got JJ Brown from Fight with a little message here for you guys listening at home there. So have a listen to this.
This is JJ of Fight, and you're watching Metal Stream Radio.
There we go. It's JJ. Amazing talent. I've collaborated with him a few times, which I'll get into a little bit later in the show. But before I do, we've also got a message from Russ Parrish himself from Fight, which has a little something to say here.
Hey, this is Russ Parrish, formerly from the band Fight. You might remember me from Fight. I was 12 when I did that band, and now I'm in my late 70s. Enjoy listening to some Fight right now. It's back when I could really play fast. All right, bye.
So without any further ado, we're going to get into some Fight into the Pit. How about that then? A little bit of Fight. Do you know the name of that song? I think you do by now. A favourite of mine. It's a song with some amazing vocals from Rob. I think this is one of the songs that he was showing, you know, what he's all about, and from, like I say, from Painkiller to this song, you know, it's not too far a contrast, you know. So yeah, great song. My favourite of Fight. So much so that I actually had the honour of when Steel Panther come to town, I jammed it with them. They were doing this little acoustic thing. Back in England, when I was in England, I'm in Mexico now, so hola. I had the honour of singing this, but an acoustic version with a Satchel of Steel Panther. And if you know, you know the connection to Fight. Have a little listen to this. I'll play you a bit of my performance with a Satchel of Steel Panther, acoustic style. They're funny guys, so yeah, take a listen.
Metal Matt, okay. This is what Steel Panther would look like if Metal Matt was our singer.
And let me just say, I don't know if this has ever been done acoustic.
Yeah, I think it's more pussy, right?
Fight was a pretty fucking heavy band, and they had a great guitar player.
Are you playing Tetris right now?
Great, right until
Dude, no. This is the thing about being a singer, dude. No crutches.
Yeah, no crutches, dude. That's why we had our singer get rid of all the backing tracks. Well, some of them. It's about 60%
Introduce this song here, Metal Matt. What song are we doing here?
And you have to introduce it like you're fucking live at Wembley.
Don't fuck this up.
In front of 14,000 motherfuckers. Ready?
Lifetime.
Right.
There's over 700 people watching it.
Into the pit.
Okay, that's not how you would do it if you were at Wembley. You would go get this fight into the pit.
Fight into the pit.
Oh, there you go. Get the fuck out of here. I'll tell you what, if you were bald, it would have been just like being next to Rob Halford.
Dude, I manage Metal Matt now, so if you guys want him for your band, call me.
There we have it. Great guys. I mean, there's not many big bands like Steel Panther, that would, do something like that, So it was really cool, they're great guys, really. They're the most down-to-earth rock stars, and they really know how to rock, There's no show better than a Steel Panther show. I've been to a lot of heavy metal shows, and it's just amazing fun. It's like one big party, I always wait for them to come back to town, because I know it's just going to be a blast, And in the past, they've hooked me up with... put me on the guest list and things when I couldn't get a ticket, when it was sold out and things like that. I remember when Lexi was in the band, Lexi Fox, he was nice enough to put me on the guest list when I met him before the show, and I said I couldn't get a ticket. You know, they sell out so fast. The tickets were Steel Panther. They're gone in a second. You know, so you know if they come to town, I think they're doing a big tour at the moment. So if they're coming your way, get those tickets. You know, it's a show you're not going to want to miss out on. It's fantastic. So yeah, I love those guys, and yeah, that was fun. You know, to tell you a story about that. I think before we did that. Satchel, I was sort of saying, oh, play a little crazy by Fight, play this, and he was just jamming a few riffs, and it was really cool. And then having the chance to actually sing with him, I was kind of bricking it because it was a small place. It was in Bristol, the Hatchet. It was upstairs, famous pub in Bristol near the O2 venue, I happened to stumble across it. I think all the planets aligned that day, and I was in the right place at the right time, and it all come together. And it was fantastic. They did a little acoustic kind of show, and it was great to get involved with that. It was quite a small room of people, so doing that kind of vocal without a microphone in front of a little group of people, it's pretty scary. But Satchel, I could see, was enjoying it. He was very encouraging with his yeah. So he was always shouting yeah or something like that, things like that. You know, very encouraging during the performance. So my confidence kind of grew as I was doing it. And if you watch the video, I'm just kind of like I got my hands on my knees and I'm just kind of concentrating because it's not the kind of voice. That high voice takes a lot of concentration to get it right. It can either go wrong or right. And I needed to really get in the zone. So luckily I did. And as it went on, like I say, I relaxed, and I think it got better and better as it went on. And just hearing him play those riffs again were fantastic. I love that. That's such a cool opportunity. And talking of Steel Panther, up next we've got a really cool song from their kind of latest album. It was released I think a couple of years back now. I know they're touring a lot at the moment and things, so yeah, definitely keep a look on all their social medias. They're very active on that, and Michael Starr's Facebook page is great. He's always sharing cool things and funny stories and things and clips from his travels and stuff, so that's always cool to see. He is one of the best vocalists around, for heavy metal. There's not many people who can sing like he does, so yeah, I love it. And obviously they got a lot of humor in what they do too, which I love, because they don't take themselves too seriously. You hear all these different bands who are way too serious. I won't name any names, but ones that wear lots of makeup and things, and take themselves too seriously. There's many a band like that, It's nice to see a band that just rock and they're down to earth with the fans. And also, it wouldn't work these days, that kind of hair metal, glam metal thing, without a bit of humour, and that's what makes this whole thing work, because it's not the 80s anymore, but it sure feels like it while Steel Panther are going strong and doing what they do best. And it's great. It's bringing back the true, heavy metal sound, which I love, and be it the kind of more glam hair kind of thing. It's great that there's a band that can pull that off, There's not many bands doing that kind of thing these days. So yeah, props to Steel Panther, and they're great guys. Satchel's a good friend of mine. He's a fantastic guy, and we hung out a bit last time he was in town, and he's awesome. Without any further ado, I'm going to get into some Steel Panther now, from On the Prowl, like I say, their most recent album, and it's a brilliant song celebrating the 80s, talking of how much they kind of bring back that 80s sound. You'll hear it with this song. There's no better way they could do it than with this song called 1987.
Appetite for destruction, blowing us all away. Poison looking so damn good, I wondered if I was gay. White snake making us bang our heads in the steel of the freaking night. Coverdale banging tawny Kane, and the world all felt just right. 1987, I never want to leave you. When you told me I was in my prime, why didn't I believe you? And the music scene will never be the same. But I didn't realize that things could get this lame. Talkin and Lynch understand the loudness, dude, but man, that guy could scream. Ozzy was on the crazy train, biting heads off bears. It was long before the YouTube trolls and this bullshit snappy chats. 1987, you're always gonna be the best. Like first Colombian cocaine off a 19-year-old breast. And the kids these days will never understand what it's like to play an instrument and be in a growing out our hair, getting high with girls, cranking scorpions and priests. Everyone in leather, there never was a doubt in any of our minds. And pretty soon, Dave and Eddie were getting back together. 1987, where did we go astray? Back then the friends we had were rare, and we saw them every day. And no one once got canceled for the things that they say. 1987 will forever be the year where guys were more lipstick than girls, and no one seemed to care. And the music that we worship will live on, even after all our heavy metal heroes are gone.
And there we have it. I mean, is there anything more heavy metal than that? You know, celebrating, 1987, a great year for true rock and heavy metal. And, Michael's voice, you can hear there, Michael Starr, fantastic voice. I mean, has anyone else got a voice like that these days? I don't think so. Brilliant stuff. And, Satchel's playing there is out of this world. And I believe this was the first album to feature Spider, the new bass player, who sounds amazing, and obviously sticks on drums. He's always laying down that solid drums to go with this amazing music. So I love it. I love Steel Panther. I think they're doing a great thing, keeping the sound alive. And we've got a very special announcement now from Satchel of Steel Panther. Can you believe it? I can't. Well, take a listen to this. He's took some time out of his busy schedule touring to leave a little message here for you guys at Metal Stream Radio. So have a listen, guys.
Hey, this is Satchel from Steel Panther. I'm just sitting here at my mom's house with some hookers and my bass player Spider. Say hi, Spider. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he's totally naked from the waist down. I just nailed it. That was fucking awesome.
So there we go. That's not an image you want to have in your head, I'm sure. But yeah, thanks so much to Satchel for that one. Awesome, he took the time out to record that. He's always the best. He's always just a great guy, and he's worth seeing. Steel Panther, one of the few live bands who sound amazing live. So be sure to get your tickets for Steel Panther, because they're the real deal. That's some Steel Panther for you. And on another note, back to Fight, JJ, I was telling you earlier, I've collaborated with him, on a few little things, and most recently was an original song of mine called Devil in Disguise, which was really great to have him on board. He added some great growl vocals, and he actually mixed and mastered the song as well, so that was really cool. He's a very talented guy, and having his kind of growls, which you're used to hearing him Fight and stuff, in my own song was a dream come true, to work with someone who's worked alongside Rob and was such a big part of that band. It's awesome. I love it. I kind of with this song, I was going for something a little bit different, kind of quite a dark vibe, a little bit King Diamond, but definitely trying to kind of give it a little bit of a fight feel to it, but also a Metal Matt feel, because it's my song, and you know, I've kind of done my own thing here, different vocal styles and things, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. It's got some great guitar playing from a guy I work with regularly called Carmine. He's a fantastic player. He's out in Las Vegas, I believe, so he's bringing that Vegas energy to his playing, because it's really sensational stuff, really good sound, and yeah, he's a fantastic player. I'm very blessed to be able to work with him, because he knows where it's at with this kind of music, this true heavy metal music. You know, we did The King of Hearts is another song we did together, which blew my mind, kind of Malmsteen vibes in his playing, and you know, it just, you can really tear it up. So yeah, this is a little song called Devil in Disguise. Enjoy, and listen to JJ nailing it with his vocals, his backing vocals, his very evil, deathly, devilish backing vocals. there we have it, a bit of Devil in Disguise. I hope you enjoyed that one. Yeah, I've got a lot of music to play on the show, some bands you all know and love, but I thought I'd start off, as it's a bit of a fight special today, I thought I'd play you that one featuring JJ, and even Satchel said he liked that one, so yeah, I'm really happy with that. Sometimes songs just come together and it's the right song, and I think it was kind of perfect because it's it's got a bit of for the people who love bands like Fight and stuff, it's kind of bringing a bit of that kind of vibe. You hear him a lot at the end of the song there with that kind of devilish effect on his voice, which is really cool, and I was growling as well with him, so that was an honour, kind of having a growl off, so yeah, it was great. So next up we've got a little cool bit of interview for you now from a little someone who played with Alice Cooper in his heyday. This was a great period of Alice Cooper, the Raise Your Fist and Yell and Constrictor albums, what he played on. You may know who I'm talking about. He got back with Alice recently for a tour, or a few dates, when Anita Strauss couldn't play for some reason. He stepped in and did some shows back with Alice and the current Alice Cooper band, so that was cool. And to me, one of the key Alice Cooper periods was those albums, and the guy we're talking about is Kane Roberts. He's an amazing guitar player. You may remember he had the machine gun guitar, which it was one of his iconic looks, and he was like a Rambo. He's really muscly, big guy. To me, there was nothing more heavy metal about it. It was such a heavy metal period of Alice Cooper. Yeah, I'm going to play you a bit of the interview where I believe he talks about that, the heavy metal kind of vibe that he brought to Alice Cooper, and he talks a little bit about the recording process of those iconic albums, Raise Your Fist and Yell and Constrictor. So yeah, have a listen to Kane here, talking a little bit more about his days with Alice Cooper. It's a real honour to have you on the channel today, Kane, so yeah, thanks for being here.
Hey, how you doing, Matt? It's nice to talk to you.
I'm good, man. Yeah, very good, very good. I'm here in Mexico at the moment. It's a little bit hot, but I'm getting used to it. As a British guy, it takes some adjustment. Yeah, how are you doing out there? Where are you at the moment?
I'm in California, Studio City, Hollywood, right around that area.
Oh wow, very nice. Cool.
Yeah, the weather's trying to get better, but I think we have some 49 degrees. And, I'm from the East Coast, so, used to be 0, but now 50 degrees is cold to me.
Oh,
so
wow.
Turned into a winter. What?
I know the feeling. Honestly, yeah. Anytime I go back to the UK, I'm like, oh, I can't handle that cold anymore. I don't know how I ever did it.
Yeah, I don't like it that much. It's like you go out to your car, you gotta break all the ice off the car, and then
yeah, there's all that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a lot of effort. Yeah, a lot of effort. I wanted to get into a bit about, obviously, your Alice days, seeing as that's something that had such an impact on my life. My dad was playing this stuff all the time. 2 of the top albums I'd hear constantly was Raise Your Fist and Yell and Constrict, and yeah. I literally grew up on that stuff, and Chop Chop Chop's one of my favourite songs. And
that whole trilogy is insane. Yeah. And just writing it with Alice, the way the lyrics just poured out of them, and we were on the road, and we would stop in different cities and find a recording studio. And it was always it wasn't like a big studio. It would always be like some kid's house. We for some reason, we wanted to do that. So we would find, a local and say, hey, do you know anybody that has like a local studio? We go into some guy, he couldn't even believe Alice Cooper and I were there. Alice, not me so much, but, it's kind of amazing. So, yeah. That's so we crazy. Wrote that, and for example, I've mentioned this before, but Prince of Darkness, those lyrics are so incredibly, they're so accurate and clear and filled with all this intensity and mystery. And it literally took him 20 minutes. He was eating Doritos on a couch, and he came home. He said, "Hey, I got the lyrics," and I went, "Seriously?" So. He's that good, and I just heard an interview with him. The guy's just he just knows. His brain is so insanely sharp, and creative. Really crazy.
Yeah, no, he is. He's always struck me as just completely like a really intelligent guy. His lyrics are always kind of take you somewhere different than anyone else has ever kind of took you. And he gets into the whole horror mindset, and he becomes that character. Pretty evil character on those albums you did. Pretty pretty dark stuff, which I always loved. Really cool horror kind of stuff. That's cool to know his writing process, because I was interested how it was. Were you there for a lot of the writing sessions, or were you just there for the recording?
Yeah, no, he and I wrote every bit of it together. Wow. Kip Winger on Gale, he wrote that keyboard part, on harpsichord. And,
Really?
because he has such a classical bass, I mean, he just it was a Grammy nomination for classical composition. But see, the thing about a harpsichord is that the notes are all the same volume. So you have to write and have pauses and perform it so that you're almost simulating notes being quieter and louder. And he just got the whole thing. It's a really, really great keyboard part. So he's part writer on that song. When we went to start hiring people, Kip was with us, and different drummers would come in. There was a guy from Concrete Blonde, really great player. A lot of people came in, but just, Ken Mary just had, he had the drum shred thing just all over the place. And his sense of time was it was perfect. So, and then, we put the rest of the band together. But, he and Shep Gordon were nice enough to make me music director. So I ended up, hiring everybody, and then, formulating how the music would work in the show, like all the different theatrics that were happening. And I kind of wrote like a heavy metal soundtrack behind it. So.
Wow, that's crazy. So you were really hands-on for these tours. You really got it.
Yeah, and it's their sense of trust, and of course, just Alice sitting there is an amazing influence. It's so intense. I mean, the guy, I've said this before, but on that The Nightmare Returns, we start that first chords, Paul Taylor played the first chords, and it was at Joe Louis Arena. Everybody, starts cheering and everything, and Alice goes, "Welcome to my nightmare," and it just exploded. And the band is basically shitting themselves, because we'd never done anything like this, So when we start walking up on stage, we're nervous, and as soon as Alice busts through that cage door, none of us were nervous, because he just controlled every moment of that. And that was the way it was for the rest of the tour. We all felt really sort of almost arrogantly confident about everything, because the boss was just so fucking badass,
Of course, no, he knows how to own the stage, and I from watching those shows, I can definitely see you kind of caught on to some of that energy of his, because you kind of dominated the stage with your own charisma as well, and it was just like the two of you were like an unforgettable force of nature.
I knew I had to bring some beast to the show.
Definitely,
and that's kind of what Alice and I did, and he see, the thing is, he had never done a heavy metal version of No More Mr. Nice Guy or any of that stuff.
No.
But he fucking killed it. It was like, what? You know what I mean? Like, so
definitely.
What I've learned since then is you can put him in any setting and he will shine. It could be a Broadway play, TV comedy, whatever it is. Alice is just, universally, he communicates on such a universal level,
That's very true. Yeah, he's totally just a showman. Like you say, he could do anything pretty much. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in anything because he can get into the zone. I think that's what's cool about Alice. He totally just gets into the zone of whatever he has to do, and it's authentic, it's real, and he makes the audience believe it. You know, he demands they believe it. You know, there's no there's no holdbacks. It's totally just. And it is real, you know, the approach you guys had. I mean, like you say, you were all on the same page, and you did bring that beast. Whenever I refer to you to anyone, I say he's a beast, Kane. He's a, you know, there's no other way.
That's what we were going for. We needed to tear anybody that saw us a new one. You know what I mean? That's exactly the way we looked at it. And you know, he was fully on board with it. And then I did that little tour with him recently. And number one, what an unbelievable band. I mean, they're just so good. You know, I felt like I was another old guy up there, but I had fun. It was really good.
No, exactly. They all bring their own kind of energy, and charisma.
Yeah,
They've all got different
they're all
qualities.
great players too. Yeah.
Metal Maps, sponsored by Metal Stream Radio. Crank it up.
There we have it, a bit of Kane Roberts there. Very interesting stuff, talking about those iconic albums and also the live performance side of things, So yeah, that was great to have Kane to talk to. Probably a month ago or so. It was a really good chat. We chatted for over an hour about all things heavy metal and Alice Cooper, and it was great. And also Mexico, and his love for English food as well, which was interesting. So he was great to chat with. And on the subject of Kane, he had a period of doing his own music, and he still does, but back in the day he was known for a few tracks, and there's a really cool one which has a groove to it, which I'm going to play for you in a second. It's it shows Kane's kind of style. He's kind of got like a sleaze rock kind of, it's very cool, it's very cool. He had a coolness about him, and a kind of an effortless look about him. When he's playing the guitar, he makes it sing, and he makes it all look so effortless. I'm going to play an original of Kane now from back in 1987, another year that's coming up a lot today with Steel Panther's song 1987. This is a little song called Rock Doll, and it's Kane Roberts singing and playing, and it's just a great song, so check this one out, guys. there we have it. A very sexy song by Kane Roberts there. No other word to describe it, really. Very cool. On the show today, we've got a lot of music now to come up for this last hour or so. So I'm going to just be playing some great songs now. Next up, of course, one of the best bands there is, in my opinion, Judas Priest. And yeah, I'm going to play a little song. But first up, I've got a little thing from KK Downing, which this is back from when I interviewed him quite a few years ago now. Which I talked about before on the show. You know, it was an honour, and my first time meeting KK, and I went up to Wolverhampton to talk with him, and you know, it's when he had his book, Heavy Duty Days and Nights in Judas Priest. When he released that book, we were there to talk about that and everything Judas Priest, and obviously these days he's doing KK's Priest, which are also amazing. You know, check them out, and they're amazing live. One of the best heavy metal shows I've been to. Really, really cool. Like I say, I've got a little thing KK recorded for me during that interview, which I thought you might enjoy. So yeah, have a listen to this from KK Downing.
Hi everyone, I'm KK Downing, formerly of Judas Priest, and I'm here today with Metal Matt, Instagram and YouTube. So please check it all out, because we've just done a killer interview, and I'm here to talk about just a little bit about the book, Heavy Duty Days and Nights in Judas Priest. So if you get a chance, please check it out. But as I say, check out Metal Matt, who actually, his name's Metal Matt because the legendary Rob Halford gave him that very name. So it used to be Matt Gothic, who's the same person, but it's all about Metal Matt now and his YouTube and Instagram channel. So check it out, stay tuned, and see you real soon, guys.
And there we have it. What a cool message from KK. So there's a little bit of info about me there. If you don't know much about me already, yeah, KK's pretty much told you there. So yeah, it was awesome to chat with KK, and yeah, his book is fantastic, and these shows that he does with KK's Priest, you know, amazing. I'm hoping there's going to be another tour at some point, but yeah, there's going to be plenty of KK and KK's Priest here on Metal Stream Radio. It'd be great. We love KK here on the station, so you know, be prepared for lots of KK's Priest, Judas Priest, and lots of other heavy metal. So yeah, I'm just so glad to be here on this platform now. Back then when I interviewed him, it was just my own channel, my YouTube and things, and all my platforms I put my music out on, you know, all the platforms we all know. But now I've got this amazing platform to be able to tell you some great stories, and yeah, I love being here on Metal Stream Radio. There's so much cool stories and cool music to play and just celebrate with you guys, you know, who love heavy metal as much as I do. You know, I love to be able to talk heavy metal with you for a couple of hours. There's not enough of it out there, you know, so yeah, stations like this are so important. I'm really, really glad to be a part of it, and yeah, I'm going to play you now on that subject some Judas Priest. So take a listen to this one, guys. This is a song originally written by Joan Baez, which Judas Priest obviously covered and turned into a bit more of a heavy metal kind of version, although they perform it kind of stripped down as well, which is probably my favourite version, when Rob takes it back to the original with this, you know, more of a acoustic vocal. Back to Mark Ullman, he posted something with a Joan Baez song, and I just commented, "Oh, have you heard Judas Priest's version of Diamonds and Rust?" And he actually got back to me, which was great. he rarely replies to people, you know, but he said, let me just find it for you a second. He said, "One of my favourite songs, I nearly recorded a version for the I'm Not Anyone album. It was on my list, but it's a personal song about Bob Dylan, so I chose not to in the end. Love Judas Priest, Dreamer Deceiver is a favourite." So yeah, Mark Ullman there from Soft Cell, you know, you probably heard him with his version of Tainted Love, and they got other great songs, Say Hello, Wave Goodbye, great song, and Torch, Tainted Love, Bedsitter. There's so many great songs. I love 80s music, be it metal or pop or rock. You know, the 80s was just such a great period for music, and Mark Ullman, one of the kind of talents, you know, with his kind of gothic style. And yeah, cool to know again, on the subject of unlikely or unexpected heavy metal fans, we've got Mark Almond. There you go, with his love of Judas Priest. So yeah, that's really cool. Dreamer Deceiver, obviously off the Sad Wings of Destiny album. Beautiful song, one of my favourites too. It's one of the songs where Rob really showcased his high vocal. Originally they had songs like Run of the Mill on Rock-a-Roller, their first release, where Rob started kind of belting out these high notes. But Sad Wings of Destiny, the second album, is where things really came together for Judas Priest. And, it had songs like Victim of Changes, which was partly written by Alan Atkins, who was the original singer of Judas Priest. And I think when Rob came along, he had a song called Red Light Lady, and combined they come up with this song Victim of Changes, because when Alan left the band, they had the song. And I think there's like two parts. I think Alan wrote the quite heavy first part of Victim of Changes, and then maybe Rob had that mellow section. Maybe that's the part Rob wrote. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure, because I did talk with Alan Atkins about it once, and I'm pretty sure that was basically it. So yeah, a great combination and a really great song. But back to Dreamer Deceiver, that's different again. That's kind of a psychedelic vibe, very trippy, but it showcased Rob's voice and his vocal ability. Such a beautiful song. Not one I don't think Judas Priest have ever performed live, maybe back in the day. Saying that, no, they did perform it live. There's one main version of it, but apart from that, that was on the Old Grey Whistle Test. Some people might remember that show. Lots of bands went on there in like the 70s, I think it was. Maybe early 80s, I'm not sure. But yeah, big show for kind of new music at that time. But in front of a proper audience, I've never seen them do Dreamer Deceiver. And there's probably some of Rob's highest notes in that song. So yeah, it's definitely a full-on song. But yeah, great that Mark Ullman loves that one. And he also loves Diamonds and Rust. I don't know whether he likes the Judas Priest version of Diamonds and Rust, but he certainly loves Judas Priest, he said, and Dreamer Deceiver is a favourite. So yeah, that's from Mark Ullman. So that was cool. Another unexpected heavy metal fan. So we're going to play, like I say, Diamonds and Rust from the Sin After Sin album. Yeah, it's a song she wrote for Bob Dylan, I think, as they were in some kind of relationship, and yeah, it's quite a personal kind of song. So it was a strange choice for Judas Priest. I think the song was kind of given to them. Often that was the way back in the day. The record label or whatever would say, "Oh, do this song." I guess it was an attempt to kind of get more people listening if they do a kind of cover of something. I think Better By You, Better Than Me is also one that was a cover, although that was the one that had the controversial Judas Priest trial, the trial of subliminal messages, which obviously was all false, false allegations, and proves that in the court, how ridiculous the whole thing was. Yeah, that was another song that was a cover, which again, I can't understand how they ever made the court, because the fact that it wasn't even their song, I think tells it all, that there's no way there's going to be subliminal messages in a song that isn't even theirs. It's basically a version of I think it was a Spooky Tooth song, Peter Green, yeah, something like that. Yeah, it was a song that already existed, or I might be getting confused with the Green Manalishi, but yeah, it was a cover of someone's song that was put to them. Better By You, Better Than Me. So yeah, there we have it. We're going to get into Sin After Sin album, like I say, with a bit of Diamonds and Rust. So this is the original Diamonds and Rust that they Judas Priest made.
Just that the moon is full and you decided to come.
How cool is that? A bit of Diamonds and Rust there. Quite a departure from how you hear Judas Priest play it live, you know, often faster on the Unleashed in the East version, and Live Vengeance 82, you know, that was a lot faster. I always find it strange actually listening back to the Judas Priest albums, the early albums, because I don't know about anyone else, but I listen to these songs live so much because I love watching Priest perform these live. It's always weird to go back and listen to the album versions because it's often really contrasting to how you're used to hearing it, you know, and both amazing, you know, but I think these songs really come alive when Priest play them live. And I sure would have loved to hear Mark Ullman's version of Diamonds and Rust. What a shame he didn't do that, but I understand his reasons completely. It is an odd song choice, but Judas Priest certainly pulled it off.